GTA 5 has been around for a couple of years and we can all agree that it is a very fun game to play. Sure, the story goes absolutely nowhere and you sort of don't have as many options in certain aspects like in the previous games, but it's still a very nice game and it is the one that brought us GTA Online. The multiplayer mode everybody's been waiting for. The one that lets you have fun with your friends in GTA, well, online. And when it was launched, it was kind of crap, but it has received a lot of updates in the past couple of years. Have there been enough? Well, this is the top 7 reasons why GTA Online is still crap. Because let's face it, it kinda still is, even after all these years of constant updates. Now I truly hope that Rockstar will address these issues with time and won't just release GTA Online 2 and leave everybody in the gutter, but at least if they will, they should still address these things in the sequel. That being said, let's get it started with number 7. Stealing cars. Up until the last update, which added the vehicle depot and the actual missions where you can steal cars, you couldn't really steal cars in GTA Online. Okay, yeah. You could sell one car to the paint and spray about every half hour, and that Solomon guy does tell you to get him some cars from time to time, but really, in a game called Grand Theft Auto, do you need someone's permission to steal a car? You shouldn't, but you do. You do to the point where you can't actually just grab a car off the street, respray it, and make it your own. Well, no, you can do so with the lower end cars that no one actually wants, but any higher end one, no, because apparently they have a tracking system in them which you somehow can't remove. Now I would understand if this were a limitation to stop you from selling cars. Okay, yeah, I get it. You don't want to inflate the economy, but what if I keep the car? I steal a car, remove the low jack from it, and just upgrade it like you would a normal car. But you can't. No. You can't actually steal your own goddamn cars in this game. You have to buy them. You have to spend millions and millions of fake dollars and real ones with those goddamn shark cards to get some good cars in this game. In a game called Grand Theft Auto. And if you say to yourself, well, if you drive a stolen car, well, maybe then the police would just come after you constantly, or the owners would put out a hit on you or something. Thing is, I've got rocket launchers for days. Get it? Rocket launchers for days. Let them come. I'm keeping the goddamn car. But you can't. You cannot steal cars properly in this game. Number 6. The technical aspect. I'm lumping here 2 things. One is the connectivity. You know, the one that routinely doesn't keep you connected. The one that shoves you around loading screen after loading screen for no goddamn reason other than syncing between different sessions is a goddamn pain. People disconnect, people can't connect, people can't find you, lags abound, and in general it could do with some more stable servers and some better design in terms of connectivity. Less loading screens too, like a lot less loading screens. And then there's the interface itself. I ask you, why do we need about 4 or 5 different menus to get to where we want to? You have your phone that has its own menus and the web browser. You have the pause screen which has its own myriad of some menus, and then you have the M button, which is where they kind of hide a lot of things you think you'd need more handy, like being able to equip an armor. It doesn't do that automatically. You have 5 Kevlar vests up your ass, but you have to manually take them out to put them on. After using that phrasing, I'm not gonna touch the snacks bit. The UI design is just frigging terrible. I keep seeing designers, especially in strategy games, turn-based strategy games, Civilization and the like, argue that if something that you use often is more than 1 click away, you're basically creating a faulty interface. Well, everything in GTA is at least 3 or 4 clicks away. Everything. goddamn everything. Number 5. Hackers. You may call them modders as well, in the sense that they have a modded game which they use to hack your session. Simply put, they are kind of the scum of the earth in game most of the time. Some of them do provide useful things like turning into a cow, but for the most part they just spawn a bajillion planes to drop on your head and ruin everyone's experience. And because of the whole connectivity thing, because of the infrastructure, actually stopping them isn't easy because the game was designed kind of badly. And when they're not actively ruining your experience by placing huge chunks of discarded airframes on every street, you find them ruining the lap times for every race, so you just should not bother trying to do a challenge of a point-to-point race because you will never be able to beat an instant finish time. You'll be disqualified, you will lose, you will gain nothing. And you'll see them running around with level 8,050 bajillion billion dollars in golden yachts and diamond planes and every goddamn weapon in the game and every car, just throwing away money like it's nothing while you just scramble for every goddamn dollar until you can afford just about goddamn everything because the inflation is just insane in this game. Everything new costs untold amounts of money. Which brings us to number 4. The economy. It is horrible. It is based on two ideas. Some people will cheat and get everything, and the others will buy shark cards from Rockstar, giving them real money for virtual money and buy everything that way. There is no incentive to create an actual functional economy. Rockstar has absolutely no reason to not just increase prices on everything constantly until only rich people or hackers can afford to play this game. It's such a bare bones economy, and yet it's such a broken one that it just makes you wonder why they even have one in the first place. Like, really? Well, you know the answer. Shark cards. Those things are making hundreds of millions of dollars for Rockstar every year. Letting players have, more revenue streams, honest ones in game, would just sort of hamper that profit. So, no online stock market, no player trades, no ability to steal cars and sell them at your whim, and of course, lousy payouts for just about everything. And that brings us to number 3, the heists. They kinda suck. Not only were they not part of GTA Online from the get-go, but they're also kinda broken. For example, they all require 4 people, well, apart from the first one which requires just 1 person. But realistically, a lot of them can be done with 2 or just 1 single player, but you need 4. And one of them, you just know that one of them is gonna be an asshole, or because of the connectivity issues, is gonna drop out. And everyone else, even though they could very well be incredibly capable of finishing that mission on their own, they'll get booted out. They won't be able to play anymore, at all. And then you get to the way that the heists are actually set up. You see, the whole planning aspect in single player was kind of fun because you could choose what to do, how you would enter. You don't do that in online. And more importantly, you don't get to use your own gear. Even though the game shows you that little thing with what the players have access to if they have planes, helicopters and stuff, you never use your own. Well, yeah, you do until you get to the place of the mission, until you drive a gazillion miles to the same goddamn place every time because one of you never did this heist before and doesn't have the skip option. But apart from that, and using a kuruma to actually finish the Pacific bank mission with all 4 players alive and screw those bikes, that was a bad idea. Apart from that, you basically just run through a scripted event and then hope that no one does something stupid and dies, thereby leading everyone to fail. And in the end, the payout is crap. Like, you rob a goddamn bank in broad daylight, you'd expect some serious cash. But no, you get what you would just achieve by playing Deadline for probably the same amount of time and probably have more fun, or Juggernaut, or any of the 2x bonus modes that are on now. Maybe at least if they had more heists, but they don't. They just have a few of them which you can repeat and they're kind of in the long run. Annoying at times and And again, they often don't work. Like, the interface doesn't show up for some people and it doesn't work, leading to frustration and wasted time. Number 2, the MMO part. You know that GTA Online is trying to kind of be an MMO, right? It has progression, it has player interaction, it has guilds, let's call them, it has sort of missions, quests to do, but it's really bad at it, like incredibly bad at it. The progression is stupid, like you have to punch out a bajillion people in the face in a mission where the cops don't come for you to increase your strength statistic. Why is it even there? Do you use it that often? No. Why do I even have statistics since there is no actual way to raise most of them in a convenient way? You don't have a gym like you did in San Andreas. What am I supposed to do for lung capacity? Just hide under a lake and constantly eat snacks until I almost die and then go out, fill up with snacks, go back underwater? Because that's how people do it. Because there is no actual good way to raise that statistic. And you kinda don't actually need to. Because there's not much to do underwater in this game at all. There's actually not much to do in the open world-ish aspect kind of at all. Apart from one thing, and that is griefing. The only viable interaction between players in the open world is griefing each other, killing each other constantly. Everybody can just murder you to death with no rhyme or reason, because, you know, we're criminals that aren't criminal enough to steal cars, but we can blow up people at a whim. They can put bounties on you even though you didn't do anything. Oh sure, you have passive mode where you can not interact with people, thereby limiting you even more when you want to grief other people, or participate in the also very rare events that take place in the world. I mean, not the ones that are about griefing, you know, the ones a player starts or an organization starts, and then you grief them, you actively try to stop them to prevent them from doing that. No, the ones like be the one to jump from the highest point without dying, which honestly I haven't seen in game for the past 2 months. Did they remove those kind of events? Because those were the only PvE style event that actually was kind of fun. It was actually the only kind of PvE style event that sort of worked. There's the gang activity thing where you shoot people, but those kind of suck. In general, interaction with players in this game is kind of crap. You really can't do much. You have organizations, for example, that you can have a bajillion people in, but only 4 of them can actually be active in a group at a time to do stuff. The rest, well, screw the rest. There's very little to actually do in the open world that doesn't involve hunting other people down and murdering them, which isn't really productive because they just respawn and murder you. If only there was something like, you know, the territory combat control feature that San Andreas had in single player. That at least would have made things interesting, not just kind of eh. And number 1, it looks like something made by a bunch of modders with no access to the game code. When you look at the game, like really look at it, GTA Online doesn't sort of look like it's made by Rockstar. It looks like some people played GTA 5, decided, hey, you know what, let's cobble together from sticks, stones and spit an online mode and see if it holds. And that's GTA Online, that's what it looks like. Just look at the races. Most races rely on there being pieces of prefabricated crap just planted everywhere with no rhyme or reason. Instead of using, you know, roads and roads for races, you have those Trackmania style races in the sky with cities and roads built in intricate webs above the earth like you would see in just about every modded version of GTA 3. The interface sort of looks like it's made by being cobbled together from bits and pieces, not created with any rhyme or reason, with any efficiency in mind, just to be there. The missions, especially the ones relating to organizations, the CEO missions, the ones where you hunt crates and stuff, kind of the same thing. They're simplistic, they're repetitive, they don't have much to them, they look like they were just cobbled together by people that did not have actual access to the game's infrastructure. And you wanna know the funny part? People that don't have access to GTA San Andreas infrastructure made a more interesting multiplayer mode with a GTA San Andreas multiplayer, where you actually have some roleplay aspects and you don't just go around murdering everyone because why not? You can actually do things in that world that don't just devolve into whoever snipes first or whoever still has sticky bombs left. Well, that would be it for the top 7 reasons why GTA Online is still crap. As always, I look forward to your comments and the hate mail. I'm still getting that from the Diablo 3 video. Goodbye. Thank you for watching this show. If you enjoyed it, please consider watching some of our other videos and maybe sharing them or giving a thumbs up if you feel like it. And if you really liked what you saw, please check out our Patreon page. For just $1 a month, you could help us make much better shows and get some rewards in the process. Or you could consider buying my book called Tale of Doom. Volume 1 is out now and available for just $2. And as always, if you thought it was horrible, you know where to find me and complain about it.